have a drink while I'm doing this, but I can't do it on Sundays. Also,
School nights. Whip. Okay. All right.
Welcome to the Embracing Parenthood podcast, episode 2.
Well, he was talking in the background of why you were saying that.
Welcome to the
Stop.
Embracing.
Just pause.
Welcome.
Stop.
Welcome.
Stop. Pause. Long pause for him for editing.
Actually,
Welcome to the Embracing Parenthood podcast, episode 2. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Nick.
Today we're going to be talking about parenting in a social media world. But before we get started with that, we wanted to recap our goals that we had set at the end of last week's episode. So how did you do, Nick?
So last week I challenged myself to not work as late as I had in the past, to try to get my work done during the workday. I did okay.
You did okay.
I think I worked late. I worked till 11 or 12, 2 or 3 times this week.
Baby steps.
So that was a substantial improvement from my prior activity, but it's definitely something that I want to continue to work on. How'd you do?
I did better. I went above and beyond. I'm a goal crusher. You know that. So I think I said I wanted to go at least once a week, and I went twice. I went to 2 5:30 a.m. classes, and I did 1 lunchtime workout. So I worked out 3 times this week.
What was your goal again?
So my goal that I had set last week was that I wanted to get up early in the morning and go to a 5:30 a.m. class at least once a week. And I went twice. So I did 2 5:30 a.m. classes, and then I did 1 afternoon workout class.
So you did go above and beyond.
I did.
And woke me up every time you did.
No, I didn't.
Oh, for sure. You did.
I actually it's hard to get up and go and work out that early, but I actually felt like the mornings went smoother when I did get up and go, because like if I just wait and wake up at the same time as the kids, I'm groggy, I'm dragging around, I'm trying to get myself ready too, but I was already like up and at 'em and energized and like full force, ready to go. I was able to just focus on the kids. So I'm going to keep doing it. I liked it.
All right.
So
We might have to change the sides of the bed, but we'll make it work. So what are we talking about today?
So today we're going to be talking about the pressures that social media puts on us as parents. I think social media is a widely discussed topic when we're talking about children, and when we're talking about the pressures it's putting on, our youth to be and look a certain way. But I think that we're so focused on our kids that we don't even realize how much social media affects us as parents too. I know it affects me. I think it affects dads and relationships and parenting and everything.
Yeah, I think it affects dads differently. And maybe that's not that's a very broad statement, but we'll kind of get into the particulars and see how it shakes out. So what's this term you're always throwing around, the pressures to be a Pinterest mom? What does that mean?
I think that Pinterest really took off in probably like 2000, maybe like 10 or 11. I know I was in college when it came out, but like all the girls were obsessed with Pinterest. And that's kind of when people started really going above and beyond with like baby showers and birthday parties and weddings and things like that, because of all of the ideas that were so easily accessible and viewable on Pinterest that people started like deeming moms that went above and beyond Pinterest moms.
Yeah, I remember my birthday parties growing up. There was always like a cake at the dinner table
that your mom got from the grocery store.
Yeah, like we were running around the house making a mess, but we weren't. The birthday parties that we throw for our kids now are
productions.
They're wild.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's pressure that I put on myself from what I see on social media, or if other moms are feeling like that too, but I definitely feel the need to keep up with the Joneses when it comes to birthday parties. And even like I'm Luke's homeroom mom for his class, and I am sure that homeroom moms back in the day when they had to bring like cookies for the class, that they would just, they were just going to the grocery store and buying a pack of pre-made cookies. But now it's like oh, but they're not custom cookies. Like they're not the cookies that are custom iced with their school colors and logos. And it's like this whole thing now. And I really just wish that it would come back in style to just like rent a Chuck E. Cheese room and throw down some pizza and get a grocery store cake because, well, it's also our boys and you, all four of my guys' birthdays are in a 4-week period.
It's a lot at one
It's
time.
a lot. And by the time the
think,
twins' birthday's over with, I'm exhausted.
I bet you are. And you do great at what you feel like you have to do, but you also don't want your kids to feel left out.
Right. So you feel like you have to keep up.
Yeah. And it's hard because you know that there are some kids in that class that aren't going to get that kind of party.
Yeah.
You're kind of torn with, is this the right thing to do? Is that kid going to feel left out? But we try to incorporate anybody we can. Like we invite everybody from every class, all the kids in the neighborhood, whenever we do anything. And we try to throw a really good time for all those kids.
All of our friends with kids. And,
you know, back when I was having birthday parties that were just normal, it was cool if the house that you went to also had a pool.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like a bonus.
Now are they renting an entire farm full of animals for their house? Is there going to be a giant 40-foot water slide? Are they doing something that is just so unique and cool that they're
like, how do you
setting the
top
standard
it
for everybody else?
You got to top it every year. And I know that when I did Luke's first birthday party, for me, that felt over the top. But now compared to what you see on social media, it really wasn't. And I enjoyed doing that. That's another thing I think that is important to talk about is that some moms just get a lot of joy out of doing the Pinterest mom thing. And if you enjoy that, you do you, girlfriend, that's cool. But if you don't enjoy doing that and it stresses you out financially and time that you have to put into it, like you shouldn't feel like you have to do that to have your kid fit in.
Yeah, I think that's an important point too, right? If you got a full-time job and you're just trying to make the most of the time that you have with your kids at home because you don't spend time with them during the day that you would if you were a stay-at-home mom, it can feel overwhelming probably. Yeah. And dads probably feel that way too. When we were talking about doing this episode, I was thinking, how are dads affected by social media? For me, I practice family law, so I'm an attorney. One of the things that gets brought up a lot, and parents get called Facebook mom, Facebook dad, something that I guess the meaning is you look good on social media, but you're not a good parent. Like it's a way to talk bad about somebody.
Like a Facebook dad.
Yeah. And I think there's pressure for parents of all sides, but really dads who have split homes that don't live with their kids during the week, that just have like weekend time or possession time. There's pressure to demonstrate to the community that you are involved in online, that you have your kids, that you're being a good dad, that you're involved in your kids' lives. My dad was like the soccer coach, the baseball coach. He was the neighborhood. We were like the house to be at. You know, kids came to our house to play. He was like the neighborhood dad, you know. That was awesome. You don't get to really be that anymore. We don't have the same community. And maybe we will when our kids are a little bit older.
I hope so.
But I don't feel that now. I had a friend that lived down the street and we went to his house, or he came to my house every day.
Oh yeah, I grew up like that too. Two of my best childhood friends one lived like 3 doors down and one lived a street over at my dad's house in Pennsylvania. And we were at each other's house every day in the summer.
That's what you did, right?
That's what
You rode your bike around the neighborhood. And the world, I don't know if it's changed or if it just, maybe we're more aware of some of the dangers that exist.
That's what I think it is. I think the world is I don't know if the world's different or we're just more aware of how bad the world is, that parents just have to be more protective.
Sure. But back in the day, safe or unsafe, we were cruising around the neighborhood on our Huffy bikes. Just, you know, we'd go to the corner store at the front of the neighborhood with a couple of bucks and get some candy. And I even ditched my bike for a little while for some rollerblades. Like we were just hitting up the streets.
I had my racer
back
scooter.
In the day. I bet you did. Just scooting around town. What an inefficient way to get around the neighborhood. Like
I used to ride my scooter in Conroe down Fraser Street.
That's crazy. So I grew up on
so
1960,
dangerous.
And if you don't live in Houston, you probably don't know what this means, but 1960 is this long street where
oh my gosh, it's so dangerous.
There's a major freeway on each end, but it's like a 30-minute drive from one side to the other. And we would drive the entire length, ride the entire length on our bikes.
Good Lord.
All the time on the weekends. And I can't imagine. Like I was full on an hour away from home, straight bike ride.
You didn't have a phone or anything.
Routine.
There were no cell phones.
Yeah. And, that's not the world we live in now. And so there are places to go now. You take your kids to trampoline parks and little events and things that are going around. You try to find things to do with your kids. You take pictures and put them online. I think that's how you demonstrate now that you're an involved parent. And I don't know that that's fair, because the only person that matters when it comes to being a parent is your kid, not what other people think.
Yeah. We're just inundated with thousands of photos every day. It's just human nature to compare yourself. I mean, if you don't compare yourself, tell me how you make that happen, because I know I do it.
I mean, there was a photo going around on Facebook the other day that was a hot dog that had been cut to look like a finger.
Oh,
and
yeah.
some little cheese things that were cut to look like I don't know, what are the Babel cheeses? They were cut to look like little ghosts.
Like little mummies. Was it a mummy?
I don't know
Or
what
a
it
ghost?
was.
It was
Like, man, that's awesome. If you have the time to do that, that's super cool. But
like
also,
a Halloween themed snack board for your kid.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of patience.
I would be terrible at it. You know what's great though? Seriously, Pinterest fails. Those are amazing.
Oh, I could fill up a bunch of those. Like when I tried to sneak carrots in the boys' spaghetti sauce the other night, and I just chopped them up like as fine as I could, and I thought they would cook down a little bit.
With a knife. You tried to chop them up with a knife.
No, I used the slap chop.
Okay, but the slap chop is a replacement for a knife.
Whatever. They got them really small, but I thought it would cook
weren't that
down
small.
into the sauce. And I'm like trying to be sneaky, and I slide the spaghetti over to Luke, and he goes, "Why are there carrots in my spaghetti?"
100%.
And I'm like, "There's not." And he goes, there absolutely are carrots in the spaghetti.
You are fooling no one. The twins love spaghetti, and they
didn't have one bite.
No,
I should have put it in a blender and blended and like pureed it into there.
For sure.
But I didn't.
But you didn't.
Pinterest fail.
No, for sure. And there's people out there that are really good at a lot of that stuff. Baking stuff.
I wish I was.
Making stuff. My mom was real crafty.
That's the pressure that you feel though. Like I wish I was able to do that, because I know there's so many moms out there that are, and I admire them and their patience and their love for things like that. I wish I had it too.
But I mean, I considered my mom crafty.
Your mom was crafty from what you told me.
To me, like if a button broke on something, my mom was putting that button back on. And that was cool.
But that's also the generation she grew up with.
That time period though, it was different. It was different because you had these experiences that every day you could do over and over again. Like if you wanted to ride your bike to go to your friend's house, you could. And kids,
it was encouraged.
I don't think that kids can anymore.
No.
And so we replace their idleness with our own social media presence. Like look at all the things that our kids are doing instead of sitting around doing nothing. But I don't know that that's a good thing. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But
I feel the pressure to constantly entertain our children. Like I need to constantly have something planned for them to do, or planned for them to go. But like when we were kids, we just had to entertain ourselves. Like it was like go outside and play, go find. I mean, obviously I had things that I did too that were planned.
It's weird. I can't figure out what happened, what changed. I don't remember, even at 5 or 6 years old, I don't remember my parents always being there when I was with my friends. Like I remember
5 and 6. That's really young though. I definitely wasn't riding around town when I was 5 or 6.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was.
I wasn't.
Not like around town, but definitely around the neighborhood. There were people on the street, the same street.
I don't think I was by myself at that age.
It would be almost like a Saturday morning routine where we would wake up and eat a bowl of some really delicious cereal. Like cereal was just better back in the day. It was. We would watch the cartoons, and as soon as the cartoons were over, as soon as whatever infomercial came on after the cartoons were over, we would go outside. All the other kids would go outside when they were, because you had like 5 channels.
Yeah. What else were you going to do?
Okay, maybe I am old.
Yeah, you're old.
But
I definitely had good cable TV growing up.
We didn't. There was only cartoons on until a certain time. And I couldn't tell you what that time was, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, noon, whatever it was. But after that, you were outside and every other kid in the neighborhood was outside. You didn't have to go look. Somebody had a Nintendo or somebody had a Game Boy or somebody had a thing. You would go do that thing. Go play Duck Hunt. Go play, Sonic. Go play something. Old. Yeah. It's really
Duck Hunt.
It's really hitting
oh wow,
me
babe. You're so precious.
Really, I'm walking right into this one. But it wasn't, I guess the point is my parents didn't have to find things for me to do. There was always something nearby that was also safe, that they didn't have to worry about, is he okay?
Yeah.
And maybe they did worry, but it's not like we worry now.
Yeah. I didn't have that same experience when I was really young because we lived in Conroe and we lived in a neighborhood. The youngest person besides my family was like 60 years old. We had all senior citizens on our street. But then when we moved to the Woodlands, it was a completely different story. There were kids everywhere. I had some friends on the street. So I started having more of that experience. But by that time, I was in like 6th grade. So I was old enough to start, we would ride our bike to the shopping center where there was a Blockbuster and Baskin Robbins. And my mom would give me like $10 and I'd go rent a movie. We'd get an ice cream, a thing of candy for the movie, and we'd go home. We did that every single weekend.
Yeah. And when I was that age, I still think there were Blockbusters. There used to be like Hollywood Video, but the grocery store was where it was at.
Yeah.
The grocery store had a movie rental place inside.
I forgot about that.
And you would get your groceries. Like my mom would grab a bottle of white wine. There was like this chiller thing where you could like chill the bottle.
Yeah, the big cold buckets of water. And we would put our hands in there and see who could hold their hand in the longest.
So she would, like, all these moms would have like their bottles chilling, like getting cold while you're getting the movies.
I totally forgot about that. They did used to have movies for rent at the grocery store.
But it was a legit community.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Our communities are online now.
Yeah.
And I think we don't connect the same way.
Mm-mm.
We're not in tune with our neighbors anymore. And, we've got
We try. Like we did a big neighborhood block party this summer because it was so hot this summer. The kids just aren't outside like they were just because, gosh, it was like 100+ degrees every day this summer.
But it was that hot when we were young too.
I don't remember it being that hot. I really don't.
I have gone back and looked just because I'm like,
are we crazy?
But no, it was hot. It was hot as hell.
Yeah, I don't know.
We were just out there just sweating.
It didn't affect us.
Getting dehydrated, just, whatever.
But then you drink your Kool-Aid, your Capri Sun, and you'd be good to go.
I would crush the Capri Suns. They like straight put the straw on the bottom, like screw that little hole thing. I would poke it all the way through.
Of course you would.
Every time. I could never get that. What does that mean?
I don't know. You just always do things crazy.
It's
a boy thing.
It's easier to get it in the bottom. They give you like this one little target. Anyway, it is what it is. But Capri Suns were where it was at. Kool-Aid. You always
Country Time lemonade.
Yeah, you always had that friend whose mom like tried to skimp on the sugar on the Kool-Aid and it would just taste like flavored water. And you're like, this is trash. Never coming back here again. But you did because you didn't have anything else to do.
Or the Flintstone push pops, the orange Flintstone push pops.
But that's what was up, man. It wasn't push pops for me. It was those popsicles in the plastic tubes.
Oh yeah.
Everybody always had
those. You still get those today.
Nah, but you used to have them for your homies. Like you used to come over and be like, what's up? I got popsicles. Like that's the cool kid. The cool kid in the neighborhood always had those popsicles in a plastic tube. And now I'm worried that we're transferring our social anxieties onto our children.
We are.
Because they live on social media too.
Not yet, but ours don't yet, but they will one day.
I don't know what age you should be letting your kid get on social media, but I would imagine most kids are on social media by high school.
Oh, way earlier than that.
What?
Oh, way earlier. I know.
How do you know?
So at our church, they have a class that you can take and it teaches parents about like the different apps that kids are on and things to look out for and like the different ways to do set parental controls. And they ask you to take a pledge to keep your kid off social media until the 8th grade. And that's like hard for parents to do these days.
8th grade?
8th grade. And your kid's going to probably be left out if he's not on social media in 8th grade.
Oh man.
It's starting in like middle, like 4th, 5th grade.
I was full on still dork. But wouldn't talk to girls for longer than 2 seconds, 8th grade. The first time that I probably made eye contact with a girl was on the DC trip in 8th grade, like at a dance where we were still staying on the same side of the gym, like at a dance. All the boys are over here and all the girls are over there.
But now the girls are on TikTok. They're learning how to do their makeup like women on TikTok at 10 and 11 years old. And you see these videos of these girls that are done up and they're doing these dances on TikTok. This isn't the same. Where's your blue eyeshadow? Where's your pink costume makeup? Like you should all have that awkward phase like we all had to do. But these girls are little women on the internet. It's very disturbing.
So are we better for that or are we worse?
I think we're worse. They're growing. The pressure for them to look like Hailey Bieber is happening at an insanely young age. And this is what we talk about, right? This is what we talk about all the time, is the pressure that kids are feeling from social media. But I think the topic that we mean today is it's happening to us too as moms. The pressure to stay fit, the pressure to shop where everybody else is shopping and dress the way these other moms are dressing. The pressure is real.
I have no idea who Hailey Bieber is.
Justin Bieber's wife. She's beautiful. I want to look like her, and I'm 32. So
you're beautiful. And I can't imagine
she's like 22 years old, and she's, yeah.
You know what's never happened to me? Not a day in my life, not one time. I've never seen another man and been like, I want to look like that. Like, I've never felt that way. I don't know if that's normal.
I think it's just a girl thing. I think the girls compare each other. I know I compare myself.
Is it because of social media, or was it always like that?
It was probably always like that, but social media definitely made it worse.
I wonder why guys don't feel that way. Actually, I wonder if guys do feel that way, and I just don't know.
Because you give zero, you know what?
I mean, maybe that's true. I want to be a provider. I want to take care of us, and I want to give our children opportunities and experiences. And that's why I don't have many material things. I'm not a materialistic person.
No, you're not at all.
I don't care. I don't buy myself stuff. I don't do stuff. We do things. That's my thing. My joy is us getting experiences, us doing things, them having things that they need.
But I don't think that that's meaning that that's not my joy too. The point is that I still feel that pressure to throw the big production parties. If I dress a certain way, or I shop at certain places, or I hang out with certain people, it's going to make me fit in more. Because I think what you and I have talked about offline is that Luke wasn't in school up until this point. So it was kind of hard for me to feel like I had a real group of friends. Because like, it's hard. Like when you're in your 30s, you can't just walk up to a random lady at the grocery store and be like, hey, want to be my friend? Want to hang out? Like, it's different. And I kept just kind of thinking about it and praying about it and saying, when Luke gets in school and I get to be around other moms who have kids the same age, like I'll find my people. And I've gotten that's starting to happen for me, but it was really hard last year, especially because Luke, we held him back a year. So he should have been in kindergarten last year. So we waited another year to put him in. And it was a year I had to wait. I kind of just was in limbo with this mom group thing. And
I think it's important to clarify that, though. The reason that it's been hard is that all your friends that you've had your whole life have different experiences. They are in different stages in their lives than you. And so these other moms that have been your friends for a very long time,
they're still my friends. It's just we're not in that same place.
Yeah. And for guys, maybe this is another blanket statement that's not true for everyone, but for guys, when we do things, we're setting aside the family for a male outing. Like a male outing is hunting. Like y'all aren't coming, right? It's just not happening very often.
Do you hunt?
Some families, I mean,
do you hunt?
I'm just talking in general.
Oh.
I would like to hunt, but I would rather be with you guys, you know? I love you.
Mm-hmm.
But when guys hunt, because men do hunt.
Okay.
Rude. They're not taking their wives. And when they do, it's because it's an extravagant trip. And when they get there, they're leaving their wives.
Yeah,
behind,
they just all go hang out together.
And so when guys go fishing, right, they're probably not taking their wives. When guys go golfing, their wives aren't coming. There's all these very...
It doesn't matter what stage their kids are in because they're not involved in it anyways.
And I don't mean to stereotype all men at all, but a lot of the things that men do, they do together without their families. And so we don't have to worry about that camaraderie, that same level of self-support. We have this in common. Therefore, it makes sense for us to hang out.
It's so different for moms, though, because I don't have this experience because you are such an involved parent. But I think a lot of moms can't break away from their kids because they are having to take care of their kids. So they have to find moms who are at that same stage because that's the only way they're going to get to interact with other moms is if they find things for their kids to do, and their kids have to be at the same age, maybe interested in the same things. There's some more moving pieces there. Like, they're not dumping their kids off on their husband to go shopping and get their nails done on the weekends with their girlfriends because their husbands are probably already golfing or hunting. So it's like, who's going to take care of the kids?
And I could definitely attest to that from like a family law perspective.
Yeah.
Like the closeness going away because of life in general is a balance that everyone struggles with. I had a really hard work week. I missed my kids, but I committed to this thing a month ago. I feel obligated to go, men and women. I feel obligated to go, but I miss my wife. I miss my kids. And they make this decision to continue to do things that take them away from what should be their priority, which is their family.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you break away from the social pressures once you give in to them. Luckily for me, I don't think I've ever had that problem, but I can see, and I do see people having that problem all the time.
Yeah.
So what's up with those finger lunches? You making those this week or what?
Hey, I already did the octopus hot dogs.
Yeah, I made squid hot dogs.
You did. And then I made the octopus ones today, and they were mad that they weren't squid hot dogs.
I mean,
Should we explain what octopus hot dogs are?
I can explain what a squid hot dog is.
You did the squid, I did the octopus, and the squid was the winner.
Yeah, the squid is easy. You just cut that bad boy about 3/4 of the way down twice. Cut it in half once, flip it over, cut it in half again.
And you put it in the oven.
Yeah, because boiled hot dogs are gross.
No, they're not.
If you were giving your kids boiled hot dogs.
That's how my mom used to always make them. That's always how I've done it.
Listen, just take a sip of that boiled hot dog water and then tell yourself you're doing your kid right. You know you have an air fryer. Don't put it in the microwave.
I don't microwave it.
Pop that bad boy on broil in the oven. It's the next best thing to a grill. Just do it.
Well, I boiled mine because that's
poor
just
boys.
what I always have done with hot dogs. And then I cut them in thirds, and then I sliced little legs on them. So they each had 3 little mini octopus hot dogs. But they were like, no, we want the squids. I'm like, oh my gosh, Nick.
I mean, the first thing they did was rip the legs off the squid. So, I mean, our kids are weird. But I think, I think if you legit think that you're helping your kid out by boiling a hot dog, you're getting boiled hot dog water.
When you go to like a baseball game, they pull the hot dogs out of the water. It's how they do them there. Have you ever had a bad baseball hot dog?
Okay. Real talk though. Everybody loves hot dogs in New York, right? Why? Because they have them on them rotating things that like actually grill them. You know what I'm talking about?
I've never had a New York hot dog.
Oh, we've got to fix that. We've got to. They're good. The pizza's good. The hot dogs are good. And for the most part, New York is awesome. I don't know how anybody lives there full time.
No, I don't either.
Everything moves so quickly. And personal interactions with strangers are almost non-existent. But maybe that's just been my
Unless
experience.
you bump into somebody and they yell at you.
No, because, I'm from Texas. I'm like on the subway, like, what's up? Hey, how are you? Don't look at me. I don't know. People are protective of their stuff in New York. If you don't live there, it's probably hard to explain why that is. Only people we see out in public or at the grocery store. Anyway, Pinterest moms are
Wild.
It's weird, man.
They're a overachieving group of women. I admire them. And again, I think the point is that if you enjoy doing those things, keep at it. I admire you. But if you don't enjoy doing it, the pressure shouldn't make you feel like you have to do it. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
If it makes you happy,
yeah,
and it makes your kid happy, do it, man.
But
for
like,
sure. And if it can make you some money, if you're on Pinterest, you're putting up pictures. If you're someone that can help give someone ideas, inspire someone, that's cool too. Like there's a lot of things that can come from being on social media and doing things.
Yeah.
But because we know how to do so many more things than we like. I grew up with actual encyclopedias. Like if you wanted to know something, you had to go to this bookshelf full of books.
My grandparents had those.
Like Britannica was killing it back in the day. Half of y'all don't even know what that is. But
we had the Britannica ones.
And that's cool. It is cool. But it's also weird that it's expected now.
Well, I think too, if you don't have the means to do it financially, it can be a huge burden to try and throw a party like that's expensive.
For sure.
The balloons and the custom cake and the custom cookies and the goodie bags and the water slides like that. I mean, we're talking into the thousands if you add it all up.
And the bottom line is whether you have the means or not, whether you have the time or not, no matter what, your kid is still awesome. You're still awesome. Keep being a great parent, whether you do it or you don't. don't bust yourself up over it, because make sure you're doing stuff that is quality.
Your kid's going to remember who was there
Yeah.
and how they felt. They're not going to
Quality.
remember the little things.
Quality time, quality memories, being with your family is so great. And if you're anxious about what that looks like, you've got the wrong idea. If you can do it and have that quality time, awesome. But just having that time in general, that's what really matters.
So can we agree that next year for the round of birthdays that I don't go above and beyond for birthday parties?
Can we agree that I've never asked you to do that?
I know, but I always felt the pressure to, so I did it. And it was stressful.
I do not care what we do for their birthdays as long as we do it together.
Hopefully
And
we have a pool and we can just have a pool party and keep it easy.
I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think that if we spend time together, that's good enough. Right. And please, dear God, don't do anything for my birthday. I'm going to be so tired. I already know. 2023 me is ready for a nap. That's all I need.
Nick Dillard's always ready for a nap.
Naps are undefeated.
So we can talk about our goals for next week.
What are your goals for next week?
Oh, I want to continue going to the gym in the morning. So I'm going to keep that up. And I think that my goal is a goal for us, not a goal for me. Can I do that?
Oh, I guess.
I want to have, because this was like my favorite thing when we were dating, is that we would drink a bottle of wine and we would listen to music. And we would just take turns playing songs for each other on our phone that we liked, that was kind of how we used to bond. Those were our in-home date nights for a long time. We haven't done that in a couple weeks, maybe even a couple months. So I want to do one of those this week.
Maybe one night in Galveston, we can do that.
Oh yeah, forgot.
So I don't have a couples goal, and I'm really feeling the Pinterest pressure for you putting that on me. I'm going to do a health goal this week.
Ooh.
I'm going to commit to stay on my meals that we are eating.
Okay, I'll do that too. I'll do that with you.
Starting tomorrow all the way through Friday. I will not cheat one time during the week.
But the weekend, yeah, because we're going to Galveston, so.
Well, I didn't get us meals done for the weekend, so we're set. Like we have options.
So no wasted meals this week.
Yeah.
And no extra food.
Nothing.
Okay.
Like not even like those disgustingly delicious cold chicken nuggets that the kids don't eat. Like
you always wipe their leftover chicken nugget, not up French fries. I'm like, what are you doing? You're better than that.
Those little Arby's French fries that we do in the air fryer are money.
Yeah, they taste just like the Arby's
straight
fries.
Up. Just
they are
delicious.
Good.
I can't let them go to waste.
Just give them to Mayhem, our dog.
Is it weird that I like cold French fries?
I like cold pizza, and you think that's weird? Cold French fries are gross, though.
I feel like we could just heat it up and eat it, and it's always better hot.
I like it cold.
You like it better cold?
No, I like it just as much cold. Man. Left over the next day.
Can't do it, bro.
All right. Well, I think we have our goals. We're going to stay healthy this week, have a date night in, drink some wine. And thank you guys for listening. See you again next week.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of things that we hope you guys think about. Put the pressure where it belongs. Even if you're a rock star, still having quality time with your family. And we'll see you guys again in a week.
Yeah. Subscribe, follow along. Also, don't forget to check out The Embrace, www.theembrace.com. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.
Yeah. So this is Embracing Parenthood Podcast episode 2. Today we're going to be talking about the the world. Last week we challenged ourselves. Okay. Ready?
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the Embracing Parenthood Podcast, episode 2.
All right.
Welcome to the Embracing.
La, 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 la. Are you sure you don't need a drink?